All right, let's talk about domains a little bit with the division of two functions. So suppose you have f of x equals the square root of x minus 3 and g of x equals the square root of x plus 4, and we want to divide them. So if you divide them, you end up with this, just putting f over g, and there's really no way to simplify that, but what we want to do is find the domain. Well, first of all, we have to be concerned about taking square roots and negative numbers with this numerator position. So I'm going to say the radicand of the numerator has to be greater than or equal to 0. So it can be 0 or any positive number, and this is the way you say that. So in that case, x would have to be greater than or equal to 3 in order to do this calculation. So you can take the square root of 0, and you can take the square root of positive numbers. That's why I set this up the way I did. But you can't take the square root of a negative number in the real number system. So the restriction on the domain is that x has to be greater than or equal to 3 for the numerator. Now let's consider the denominator, the bottom. Well, you can't divide by 0 and you can't take the square root of a negative number. So I'm going to say x plus 4 has to be greater than 0. So in this case, it can't be 0 because this is in the bottom position and you can't divide by 0. That would yield that x has to be greater than negative 4. So I have these two things going on. Now, I'm going to end up saying the domain of the entire thing is x is greater than or equal to 3 because by default, if something is greater than or equal to 3, it's automatically greater than negative 4. So I'm really doing the combining of these together, the intersection of those, if you will. And so if something's greater than negative 4, like for example, negative 2 is greater than negative 4, but it wouldn't be greater than or equal to 3. So I'm having to use this top one. And if something fulfills the top condition, it's automatically going to fulfill the bottom, but not vice versa. So I'm saying so the domain of this entire division here is going to be x has to be greater than or equal to 3, and that will fulfill the conditions that are needed here. See ya.